Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation where you flow your presence enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
Right, my peoples, welcome back to the most mature podcast pertaining to relationship topics. I'm your host, relationship advisor and author Tremel Lawrence, and I'm here with my partner, newly author, Carl, the accountability coach. And we are live right now, Facebook Live, Twitch, Twitter, formerly known as X now. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful evening. And to those, listen, who are watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscription button so not only you'll be notified of our show, but also you can indulge yourself with all of our previous episodes. And that's another way to help the channel. Okay. And Carl, man, how you doing, my man? I know you just came out with the much anticipated book. You say you love me, but do you respect me? Which, by the way, Carl, I cannot put it down. Can I put it down, my brother? So damn good.
Appreciate it.
So tell me how the feedback has been, and where can people purchase your books, and how you been, my brother?
Doing well, man. I appreciate it, man. Always good to be back on the show. Yes, the book has been getting really good reviews. So, we've got some other things coming up with it. It's going to be some book signings in a few cities. So stand by for that. I'll be putting a lot of that up front. I'll share it to the DBDS family so we can have it put it up there. But as far, from men and women, like I said, the book is not designed just, I think some other people think it's going to be a woman's read. It's actually for men to understand what respect looks like, in a relationship from a man's perspective. So for some men may not really understand that standpoint, or they may think control is respect, and it's not about control. It's about, partnership. It's about the way we do things. So I'm excited. And if, like I said, if anybody wants to purchase the book, I still have books available personally. You can get it from www.coachingwithcarl.com. And I'll ship the book out and autograph it. And then if you want an ebook version of it, I do have a few of those left for sale. You can same link. You can go right in there, order the ebook, and we'll send it over to your email. You can load it to your Kindle or whatever you got on there.
Love to hear that, my brother. Listen, like I said, it's such an amazing book. What I love about it is the other contributors' honest take on issues. But on the flip side, there's solutions that can, get couples over those hurdles, such as one portion I'm reading is David Jackson's chapter when he's talking about understanding, respect, and trust. And then you also got Jason Williams, who's talking about when I fell and fall and how he's breaking that down. It's as if, in my opinion, as if everyone have their unique perspective, but the book still is in line as one, like it's one joyous ride. Simply amazing. So like I said, man, I cannot put the book down. Such an amazing cover, such a beautiful book. And I just had to tab it right there, if those see it at the bottom of the screen, where they can purchase it. But at this moment, we also have it one of our special features, which I'll put up here on the screen. And this book is just trust me, you will not put it down. It's available right now. Make sure you get your copy. You can also go to dearbrothersdearsisters.com. And if you want to add more books to your collection, you also got my sister up there. She got her book available, Dr. Peggy Johnson, with her amazing book, Kingdom of Pearls. And also you can get your very own Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters book, DBDS Listen Up, one of the best sellers out there. Still, that book is available. My first book, by the way. So, just make sure, get yourself a copy, all right? So listen, this show, we got some great guests, man. So now it's time to pivot to our show, pivot to our topic. So today we are going to be talking about how modern day materialism is destroying marriages, which I'm really looking forward to. What do you think about this topic, my brother?
It's going to be fire. It's going to be interesting. It may be from a perspective a lot of people are not ready to hear from, but it's absolutely something that I believe is causing a division within the marriage and within relationships as we're going forward. So I'll say what I really want to say for the show, but it's absolutely a major issue that we're talking about today. And it's nothing to do with 50-50 and who's the breadwinner, all this other stuff, but it just really does damage in other areas and other arenas of the marriage.
Yeah, I hear you, my brother. I mean, my take on this is that, and I agree with everything you stated, but when you put modern day materialism above your vows, I mean, this can definitely, I would say, decrease the overall satisfaction in your relationships because, trying to keep up with the Jones or getting praised by outside validation, I think that when you use that as your fuel in your relationship, it creates this false foundation. If that's the most important fuel that drives your marriage. So, but we're going to save that fire later on for the show, So listen, let's not keep the people waiting. You ready to bring our guests to the studio?
Let's do it.
Perfect. Class in session, man. So let me go ahead and take this off right here. So, and definitely pop our little screen names back on here. So the first person coming into the DBDS Live studio is a sister who helps individuals to reset their mind from negative to positive. And I'm very excited to have her back on the show. And I just want to welcome back my sister, mindset coach, Janice, to DBDS Live.
Hello.
Hey.
I am so happy to be back on this show. I'm so excited. Thank you both for having me on here.
Welcome back.
Very excited to have you back on. Welcome back. Welcome back. So listen, my sisters, we have some new viewers coming on to the chat. Tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you're on the show today.
So I'm originally from New York, and I had migrated to Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a certified mindset life coach. I'm a certified nutrition and wellness consultant, and I sit on a few executive boards for education. So I'm really big on service as well. And what I do is I take people from feeling stuck and stagnant to feeling revived and empowered so they can be that cooperative component in all relationships, in their lives, in all areas of their lives. So number one is really being in harmony with themselves so they can spread that positivity and build healthy relationships. So I'm excited to be here and thank you for having me back.
Oh, very well said, my sister. And we're glad to have you back on as well because we need it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And I have my wine, so I'm ready.
Oh, you got your wine? Oh, we have to do a cheers to the camera.
Cheers.
Yeah, boom. That's what I'm talking about, my sister. So next coming into the DBDS Live studio is a sister who greatly understands the dynamics of masculine and feminine energy. And what I admire about her, which I was telling her before we came on live, is that she speaks her mind just as well as Janice does. And she stayed true to her values and beliefs. I greatly respect her for that. So I just want to welcome back my great sister, feminine coach, Namaste, to DBDS Live.
Thank you. It is such a pleasure to be here with you guys. It's always a joy.
Thank you, my sister. Appreciate that. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you're on the show today.
Yeah, so I guess we're all most of us are New Yorkers, it seems like originally.
I know, right?
I'm in Texas now. I've been here for a few decades, and I am a femininity coach and mentor. I am a matchmaker and also a marriage mender and mentor. So what I do is I return the feminine to women, the masculine to men, and men and women to each other so they can create legendary lives full of legendary love for a lifetime. So that's what I do. And I do it with my beloved, with my husband.
Ooh, okay. I love the term legendary love or legendary lives. Wow, yeah. Man. I'm gonna have to get that right on a t-shirt. How you say it, legendary love. I love it.
Absolutely.
So listen, this is such Well, this is such an amazing topic that we're going to hit on today, how modern day materialism is destroying marriages. So the first subtopic that we're going to touch on is this creates unrealistic expectations for your partner. And I truly believe in that. And I'm going to pull up here the little ticker here so people understand if we're coming in late on black time, you know what the topic's about. So my thing is related to this topic. I believe marriage, and I'm not, I'm just being real, but marriage dissatisfaction occurs because those who highly value money, material possessions, are likely to feel less value in their marriage. Thus, it creates like less communication with your partner, because I feel like in this day and age, some couples are trading love for the bag from their common principles. They're disregarding those morals, those values. And in fact, that's a far distant second place compared to material possessions and so forth. And normally, this entitlement mindset and outside validation, namaste, which I'll come to you first. I just want to share with you a quick story with the audience, which I did offline. But one of my brothers, who was a regional store manager, got laid off due to budget cuts. And when him and his significant other had to downgrade their home and they had to make some changes, his wife at the time was not happy with the new lifestyle that she had to get accustomed to. So she filed for divorce, which, by the way, they were far from broke. But these are some of the stories you hear. And I just want to say, namaste, just with that example, and by the way, he's doing well right now. But how does modern materialism create unrealistic expectations towards your partner?
Yeah, so modern materialism tends to create this idea that we're just supposed to go higher and higher and higher. We should just make more and more money. And that is the focus. So when anything happens, there's a recession, there's layoffs, there's maybe your beloved wants to pursue something different as a career choice. Your marriage can't hold it, because what's holding the marriage together is your financial state, not the love. And I know I've noticed it as well, that when things start happening, like things that jeopardize the financial viability, if you will, of the relationship in a specific time period, then I see wives like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to deal with this. And I'm like, no, you can deal with it. It's not, it's not the end of the world, it's just a moment in time. But women tend to be so focused on safety that I think sometimes that they associate a lack of money with a lack of safety, and they don't necessarily navigate that all the time.
Very well said. Love everything you stated, namaste, the lack of safety. And that's very true. And just to add just a quick side note, again, my brother who was laid off is now back as a regional manager with a different company that is paying him twice the amount that he was making before. And his ex-wife is trying to get back with him. But I just want to tell people, before you go down that road, before you even think about taking that risky stock investment of being married, just please do not get married for the wrong reasons, right? Janice, do you think our culture and social media plays a part for creating these unrealistic expectations towards the partner?
I think social media is like 99.9999. People are trying to keep up with the Kardashians. They are. They're trying to keep up with unrealistic expectations. And I think it also speaks to, I'm just going to go there, just the facade and the way you want to look to other people. Sometimes I think it's a form of laziness, because I have a personal example, like, when I was married years ago and I had got laid off and we did have to downsize. I went and started a cleaning company. I was out there cleaning toilets. Like, I didn't care what people think, because my priority was the family. And I think we have lost, we cut ties with, the family and the non-tangibles that keep a unit together. So, and I don't think social media touches on that. It's just like, I'm gonna get my bag, and if he can't get the bag, I'm gonna go to someone else. So I think there's like a big disconnect in the connection and making the connection, and just doing what you have to do to nourish that connection. So
Okay. Very well said, my sister. Appreciate that. Yes. I mean, you are. I mean, a lot of people put the material possessions and everything first,
Mhm.
even their feelings first before the marriage. And
Mhm.
I truly believe, like, from a traditional sense, that your family and marriage should come first
Right.
Mhm.
before your feelings. Like, you
Mhm.
can't just say one day, I feel upset, so I'm getting a divorce. Or you can't say
Hello.
one day, like, I don't have you didn't pay for my cell phone bill, so I'm getting divorced. Like, when you put that on top of everything, your vows, your duty to the marriage, it actually shows that you're selfless, right?
Mhm.
From my perspective,
Right.
So Carl, I'm coming to you, man. From a man's perspective, I just want to get your thoughts on this particular topic.
Hope it look like that, Janice. Leaning all in.
I'm with
Oh,
you.
there we
I'm with you. No,
She
I'm
about
like
to,
waiting
she
for the
leaned in.
wait.
She
I'm
ready to
waiting for
go.
the nuggets.
mean in
I'm
like
waiting for the nuggets.
okay.
I'm just playing.
Love it.
But
I
We're
know.
fun people. I
It's
love it.
all
no,
love.
let's
We're
go.
family. We're family.
I'm gonna start at the. I'm gonna go at the end and come back to the beginning on this. If it
Gotcha.
if
Okay.
if the materialism didn't matter, then most people who got a divorce wouldn't want anything from the divorce. So think about this. You want the house, you want the car, you want alimony. You want to maintain your lifestyle that you had after you leave the person that you were with.
Mhm.
You don't deserve that. I don't care what investments you have into it if it's not about the money. So because I'm telling people all the time, I have a problem when I hear people say they're divorcing over finances because I'm asking, at what level? Why are you divorcing over finances? If you're divorcing, did you go get a job and go help?
Mhm.
But why didn't y'all
Good question.
downsize? Why didn't
Mhm.
you downsize the house? Why didn't you downsize the car? I talk about it all the time. Black people are the highest buyers of Mercedes Benzes.
Wow, I
I'm not
didn't know
saying
that.
nothing about it, but we are. That's just go look at the stats. My other issue is when you think about, we can go back to grandma and grandpa, since everybody likes to use that as an example. Go back to the 40s, 50s. A lot of those people, they lived in one house, 3 bedrooms, one bath, 12 kids, not
Mhm.
8 kids, one
Mm,
car,
okay.
and they made it work. And I feel
Mhm.
like culturally for us, the more we've been granted access to things, the more we feel like we deserve it.
Mhm.
It's almost
Right.
like you look at the Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck cartoon when he sees the genie and the diamond, and he's like, "It's mine, 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 all mine," and it destroys him. This is what's happening today. We're putting such a high value on materialism that what you end up doing is you can end up killing your spouse because your spouse is working so hard
Mhm.
to give you all the material stuff that you want. Either
Mhm.
side, man, woman, either way. And it's unhealthy to do that. So I always, because I always come back to, I said, what do you need? If it's you, your spouse, and 2 kids, do you need a 10,000 square foot home?
Right.
Mm,
Do you need it? Unless you're moving the rest of your family in there, do you need it? Do
Mhm.
you need 18 cars sitting in your front of your house and only 3 people in the house can drive? Do you need it?
facts.
I
Mhm.
like for real. Like, who are you flexing for?
Thank
Mhm.
Mm,
Who are you flexing for? And I don't and for those who gonna come back, well, God wants you to be blessed enough. Yeah, within reason. He didn't ask you to go out here and act like a fool and spend all this stuff up, and you're killing your relationship, your marriage, which is ministry. You're
Mhm.
killing because you're worried about money. Now y'all
wow.
working 2 jobs, y'all working 3 jobs, y'all not communicating. Y'all come home, you're too tired to speak to one another. You're too tired to be intimate with one another. You got to take care of the kids. You got to do all this stuff going on because you're trying to keep up a modern day IG validation.
Mhm.
If you ain't
Mm,
post what you got, don't nobody know what you got. You can go live in that 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2,500 square foot house and be fine.
Mhm.
And don't say you're doing it for the
mm-hmm.
kids because the kids don't know what they don't have if you didn't give it to them. They never know they didn't have it. They were missing it. They don't know that. So to me, yes, this is you're killing your partner and you're destroying the relationship with your partner by trying to continue to build stuff. It's like people get a raise. You get a $10,000 raise and they think, oh, well, we can go get something, we can spend more. No,
Right.
that raises your cushion.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Put that aside. You weren't living off of that. Now you're living off of that.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest problems I see out there with this is I gotta have this. I gotta have that. Why do you need it? See, I will change the question on you. I gotta have it. Why do you need it?
Why
Right.
do you need it?
Right.
Why I deserve it. Why? Who said you deserve it? I know my worth. You're worth a penny, not a nickel. Why are you trying to ask for something that you ain't deserved?
Oh man.
Now you mad. Now you want out, but you want to maintain your lifestyle. But it wasn't about the money. All right, I'm done. Yeah.
All right. On everything. I mean, that is what you need it for. And listen, on this panel, no one is that you can't enjoy nice things or but I just think when you put the luxury, the materialism and outside validation on top of your vows and your common principles, the sooner or later the relationship itself will begin to lose value because now it comes to the point that enough is never enough. Like you said, you got 18 cars and it's just you and your partner and probably your child is probably like 1 year old. Why do you need 18 cars? Great question. Who are you flexing for? So listen, we're going to go ahead and pull up some comments, man. We appreciate everyone joining. Before I pull up some comments, I want to give a shout out to Anthony, a shout out to Ricky, my sister Marcia, Shonda, Floyd, Natia, and if I have not called your name, listen, you get ready. You're in for a bumpy ride for this great, amazing topic. So the first comment that I'm going to pull up here is, let's see. On Naomi first. What's she
From there, me neither. At Mel with the hot sun.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for tuning in, Naomi. Okay.
Facebook user, hey. I don't know what her name's.
Hey, Facebook, don't know who. Yeah. From Twitch.
Happiness isn't complicated. It's actually fairly simple. The problem is that people chase happiness as outcomes. When we don't get what we want, such as luxury items or a big house, the latest Gucci bag or money or more money, we feel unhappy. But you can be happy without those kinds of conditions if your basic needs are met and you have a partner who loves you for you. Those are the marriages that last a lifetime.
Appreciate you, Anonymous.
I think people are just unrealistic when it comes to what they are looking for in a partner. If material things are what you want in life, then you should marry someone who wants the same. In my opinion, the problem is that many people are materialistic but can't afford the items or the lifestyle.
Different take. Okay.
I'm not saying
I'll
she's
take
a gold digger.
Oh.
I'm a 34-year-old professional woman with a household income of over $250,000. I actually make more than my husband. We met when we were undergrad students, supported each other through all kinds of hardships, and built our financial safety net, including passive income, together. I just cannot believe how spoiled and entitled some women are. They don't know the true meaning of putting commitment above everything else. Appreciate it. It's real.
Yeah, I'll take two more because they should comment.
Facebook user, hello family. I wonder who that's coming from.
Hey, what's up, Facebook user? And one more comment. Okay.
And chasing wine with a double shot. Carl, you put it down. Whew. Appreciate it now.
Oh,
don't drink too much.
Don't drink, yeah. You know, one person I was watching the show last week was actually looking at DVDs live while driving. So Naomi, I hope you're not drinking and driving. You know, put to the side of the road. Don't do that. All right. I know our show is dope, but come on. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We're going to continue this amazing discussion about how modern materialism is destroying marriages. So don't go anywhere. This is DBDS Live. We'll be right back.
So many people are calling for police reform. And so because they're calling for police reform, they may not understand that there are many organizations who are already responding.
And I feel like you have to really get to know people, see if they share the same core values as you before you get involved with them.
I want to ask a question as to how we got to this place right here where mask wearing, where COVID-19, where public health is all politicized. I really want you all to think about this. How did we get to this particular point?
It's really a nice balance when femininity and masculinity can mix together and just create this awesome, experience.
All right, my peoples. Welcome back to the DBDS Live Studio. I am here with my DBDS sisters, Mind Shift Coach Janice, my sister, Feminine Coach Namaste, and my DBDS brother Carl, the Accountability Coach. And we've been talking about how modern day materialism is destroying marriages, and which is a great topic. And our next subtopic that we will touch on is, which is very important, boom, causes you to place value in the wrong area. And by the way, I love this picture right here. So, I mean, in this day and age, especially in marriage, I believe the problem is that we live in a society where materialism, I feel like, is used as a tool for expressing our feelings, because sometimes from within, we don't feel confident or comfortable within our own skin compared to other couples that, for example, we may see on social media, who may have more than us, like Carl said, the 18 cars and the big house or something, or they're going on lavish vacations almost every single day. So therefore, we put more emphasis on this, as some people within their marriage, when they start to have this mindset, the validation from the outside world begins to crumble their marriage, because it seems like they're trying to use that fuel as a way to fill a void where that should not be the number one priority in their relationship, right? So I'm going to come to you, Janice, because this is like a whole this mind shift that you have going, which is simply amazing. Just from your perspective, what advice you have for those who are married to place more value towards the commitment they make for each other? And why do you think it's so important, to place those values to commitment versus placing the more value to materialism? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's important to place the values in the commitment, because you're really building a legacy, especially if you have children. So you're building a legacy, and the legacy has to be formed on solid ground. And I think when you put the emphasis on all the wrong places, you're like creating that sand within the marriage, and that's what makes it sink. And I think the number one thing to actually offset that is like limiting beliefs. There's so many limiting beliefs, especially because of social media, that you have to break down within yourselves and then the marriage together to actually start building on solid ground. Definitely the facade and the illusion, like this bag is going to make me look this way, when actually this connection with your soulmate is going to make you look this way. So it's changing the narrative of the bag to me.
So true. I set off the script, like right now we're living in the age of the bag, the independent mindset, and so forth. And I want to help our brothers and sisters to reset that, because I want us to understand how important the values are, like the commitment towards each other, to have a thriving, healthy relationship. And
Mhm.
I know most of us will probably agree, and to the audience that's watching the show, that we love to give and receive gifts. Nothing wrong with that. But my advice, especially towards, and I want to talk to you brothers out there, um, and to the sisters, but just don't allow yourself to be cornered for modern society to bully you into thinking that if you overspend within your marriage, that it will create a stronger connection with your wife or husband. And that's not the case.
Mhm.
Because if that was the case, then the divorce rate wouldn't be so high, right?
Mhm.
So I'm coming to you, Namaste. Mature men understand that women want to feel safe and secure, but as
Yeah.
a feminine coach, to build a strong foundation, where do you think couples should place more value within their marriage? And what are your thoughts on this topic?
I think that couples should place their value into that which they value. In other words, money is temporary. And I think
Okay.
that in this current world, people are confusing the desire to get the bag and for materialism with real wealth. Like everyone wants to feel like they're wealthy, but what they don't understand is they're trying to substitute just cash, just things that look good to external pieces. People like I believe it was Janice was talking about social media and trying to keep up with the Kardashians and all of that. They're substituting that. When you think about it, the wealthiest among us, you look at somebody like a Warren Buffett, he spends like $2 for breakfast at McDonald's every morning. If you look at his home is very small and very humble looking. When I go and I know the people that we consider to be our mentors who have written, dozens of books, and they are these thought leaders, and they are the counselors of dignitaries. A lot of times, the states that they live in is a very regular. You would never know that that's who's living in that home because they understand legacy and lineage and true wealth versus just being flashy. And I think
Mm.
people are substituting, and Janice probably sees this quite a bit, substituting that internal connection with self, yes, and also with the beloved, their spouse, for let me just get money and I can use that to fill what's empty inside of me. But the thing about it is no matter how much you make, it's not enough because money's not meant to be used that way. So you're abusing it. It's a tool. It's not a master.
Mm. About here, and that was about here. It was mostly down. That was the second. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate the comment. And that is so true. I mean, when you use that, when you have that mindset, that is problematic in our relationships today. And I'm going to circle right back on that, because sometimes when we're not frugal with our money and we're overspending to impress someone, or we're trying to keep up with the Kardashians, sometimes that could put you in debt. I know
Yeah.
some people that are thousands in dollars in debt because they
Mhm.
don't know how to vet properly with someone that have the same values, and
Mhm.
these are the same people that are groupies to the OnlyFans club and things of that nature. But that's a separate show that we're going to touch on. But Carl, I'm going to come to you. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Yeah, I agree with what both wonderful guests are saying, and
Yeah.
I just add, I guess it's just, I guess when you look at stuff, when you look at the value of a dollar, or let me go back this way: if you were with someone and all the currency in the world left, this was gone, and you couldn't be sheltered like you'd live in a house and stuff like that, would you still value that person that you're with and trust that person to survive with? Almost like you look at a show like The
Mm.
Walking Dead or an
Mhm.
apocalyptic movie or something like that.
It's a great
Would you
question.
be, would you be willing to go into survival mode and hunt, fish, build a cabin from scratch? Would you want to do, could you do that with this person?
Mm.
Mhm.
Now let's take it a step further. What if you had that and then there was a small sect of society that had a huge wall built up, kind of like your, I guess, your Hunger Games type of thing or whatever. and they would let you in, but you had to leave your spouse behind.
Mm.
Would you value the Hunger Game wall, or would you value staying in the wilderness and trying to survive with your spouse?
Good question.
See, these are the things we're not thinking about. So when you're looking at the money and you're saying, "Oh, I got mine," you got to come with yours. What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? What do you know? My thing is this: if I ask you what you're bringing to the table, my value system is completely different. My what do you bring to the table? Can you be a partner to me? Can you be an asset to me and not a liability? Can you be allow me to keep my peace, meaning you can help me with my peace. I got my own peace, but I don't want it disturbed.
Gotcha.
You know, what is your character like? You know, how do you respond to a trigger from past trauma? See, that's where I put my value at. And that's where emotional, mature people should be putting their value at. But if you're putting your value on how much money a person makes, and I hear people say, "Well, money, love don't pay the bills."
I hear that rebuttal a lot.
You know, I laugh at that commentary because I'll just throw it this way: if a man's paying all the bills, what's that got to say then? If love don't pay the bills, the man's paying all the bills. I mean, he love you, but you ain't loving him because you ain't paying nothing. I'm just using that as an example. I mean,
Whoa.
I'm not saying it, and men ain't saying it, but I'm just using it as an example, just being honest. So
That's real talk.
since you're not paying no bills, you don't love him. I mean, just think about that. So do you value him as long as he pays the bills? You know, do you value her as long as you value her as long as she can support you and in your foolishness while you're sitting there playing the PS5 all day and dropping her off in her car? You know, while she at work and you driving around the neighborhood flexing in her car. I mean, I'm just asking. I mean, that, you know, because think about it, when the money runs dry is when most people go elsewhere. So 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 the value's not there. I mean, I don't recall. I mean, I was married for 20 years, but I don't recall in the vows anywhere it said good and bad times, sickness and health, broke, you get to leave, rich, you stay. I didn't.
What kind of vows you reading, man? What kind of vows are those, man?
Yeah, I don't.
What the heck?
I don't think it said that. But you know. But again, do you take your vows seriously when you're doing this? You know, and this is why we have to vet better with people that have like-minded ideas, like-minded goals, like-minded. They want to be on the same course. You know, but if you're looking at, because here we go again, she may make 100,000 and he makes 50,000, but they have the same goals, they have the same mindset. Together. They have and they can put a partnership together. There's now 150 in that house, and because they work together so well and they love each other and they're not looking at material things, they may look up in 2 years and have a net worth of $1 million. Verse she makes 100, and then she wants a man that's making 300 or 200, but he don't have the same values. He don't care. He don't care. His thing is she's pretty. He didn't listen to BBD. Don't never trust a big button and smile. He went for it. Oh, and now he's paying alimony, all this other stuff. Marriage is over because he loses his job or he has to downsize. You see what I'm saying? But they never built anything else. Or they're still together, but they're still at 400,000, and they never built anything because they didn't value this stuff. They're $1 million, but they're $1 million in debt. First, the other couple. So when we understand the value of, you know, people always say understand the value of money. Yes, understand the value of money, what money can do. But when you're in marriage, understand the value of your heart. Understand the value of the heart of the person you're with. Understand the character of the person, the value of the character of the person you're with. Understand the value of how this person is willing to love you in your love languages. Understand those things. If you keep going out here looking for, well, love don't pay the bills. If you have that mindset and keep saying that and doing that, you're going to be old and alone. You're going to be just like the TV show Golden Girls. That's what you're going to be like. There's no, go get a dog. I'm just keeping it real. Men, women, go get a dog or cat. There's no other option on there for you.
Facts.
Because you're selfish and not selfless. A selfless person understands what money can do, but that's not the priority. A selfish person wants to make the money buy them what they want because I need it now. What's the commercial? It's your money and you want it now. That's how people act. And that's where they put their value at. And this is why a lot of marriages end, and they'll say irreconcilable differences.
I hear
No,
that term all the
it's just
time,
he just wouldn't let me use his platinum card no more. He put his foot down and said, I can't spend this. She told me I can't take and use any more money to go and just spend it on nothing. And now I want out. That's unfortunate mindset. But yes, people put it in the wrong place. Learn to value character, their spirituality, them willing to learn you, them willing to listen to you, them willing to be healed. Because see, I'm gonna tell you, the people who are making a lot of money, they stress. And a lot of them don't go to counseling. A lot of them don't go to therapy. And them people you don't be around, they'll snap. That's why you see them when they lose money, they jump off in buildings. I'm just being real. You know, it's a serious thing. So you better find somebody who's been through spent some money on some therapy, and they value that. You better find somebody who took some money and some time and bought some books on how to be in a relationship and how to connect and communicate and comprehend. That's what you need to put your value at. Who cares if they got a Lexus, a Benz, a BMW, a $250,000 home in the burbs? That means nothing if they can't relate to you on an everyday basis. And if you lost everything with y'all, just with the whole marriage and bloodline destroyed because you lost money.
Very well said. Very, very well said, man. I mean, everything. It was so much to unpack what you stated, but these are great, valid questions. In fact, this is a perfect segue for more comments because the audience is tuning in. They are definitely tuned into this great conversation. So I'm going to go to one of our sisters' questions first for the panelists because it's a great question. Then I'll go ahead and read the other comments. My brother Carl read the other comments. So let's go to my sister right here.
From Enchanted Property. Okay. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for opening the conversation on this topic. My question is, what conversations should be had before marriage in regards to money?
Great question. So I'll come to you first, Janice. Ladies first, and we'll go in circles. So how will you answer this question? This is a great question, by the way.
I don't have a specific question, but I do have an area that you should focus on. Focus on the content of someone's character. That'll let you know how they're gonna react to money in a relationship. So that was my biggest thing, like the emotional intelligence. You know, how their values, you know, questions like that. And that'll kind of, it's almost like peeling back the onion to get real answers, because you can get some Instagram answers. You want open-ended questions to really drill down on how they feel about money.
Very well said. Okay. Listen. You can have no more grenades left. Janet, you just totally burned down the entire studio. Thank you for your thoughts, my sister. Oh, I love my sisters on this panel. Dope. Next, Namaste. What are your what advice you have for this? This is a great question, by the way. What are your thoughts?
It is a really good question. Okay. I believe and I teach that the conversations that should be had about money before marriage are quite a few, actually. Finding out who's going to, based on where you are now, if you have the expectation that you are, as a woman, that he will be with a man who will provide for you and you'll be able to stay at home, that needs to be a conversation. That shouldn't be an assumption. You want to make sure that you guys both agree with that if that's what you're doing. Are you going to have to work before, if you have children and you have young children at home, or is that going to be something that you're allowed to be a stay-at-home mother if that's what you desire to do? How will money be handled? Is it a joint account? Is it separate accounts? And what is considered good spending, right? So For instance, in my universe and in my paradigm, I'm around a lot of people who highly value personal growth and development. So they like to invest in those things. They like to go to conferences. They like to buy classes. They like to buy books. Well, if you're with someone who doesn't value paying for those things, they're like, you can just learn all that from YouTube. That's going to be a misalignment in regard to money. So you also want to make sure that when you're having those conversations, you're finding out what they consider to be things that are worth spending money on. How do you feel about me supporting our parents? And as they get older, you want to have those conversations because, while love is very important, but communication is also important. So we want to make sure that how we express love is something that is complementary, so you don't want to be with someone like, I say in a heartbeat that I'm pretty high maintenance at this point in my life, but my husband made me that way. Okay. So he's very happy he wanted me to be high maintenance. So he actually made me that way. So if you know that getting makeup and going and having facials and things like that, that's important to you, then you want to be with a gentleman who also values that. If you want a man who's ambitious, you want to find out, is he ambitious before you wed him? Not he's not ambitious, but then once you get married, you have the expectation that your presence will create that in him, because that's not respecting or honoring the man that he is. So I think all of those things pertain to money, and they're all important to talk about way before you get to the altar.
Wow. Facts. Very well said, my sister. Yeah, these are conversations, and I know some people try to stray away from those conversations, but Carl, from your perspective, what advice you have for our sister based on her question?
Yeah, this falls into dating level part 3, the courting stage. This is where these questions, the tough questions, come into, and they hit most of them, and Jancy talked about. But you're talking about investments. What do those look like? Insurance policies. People don't understand how much value is in insurance policies. That's where a lot of the wealthy have made their money. I won't get into that part tonight. As nowadays talk about the bank accounts. Are we going to pay from one account and we have separate accounts and we put money in, or does everything go into one account and then we take out a percentage? What is spending habits? What is spending? What do we consider value spending, and what do we not deal with the other stuff? Type of things. What is bad spending? Do I need to clear with you if I'm going to spend over $1,000, or what is the limit? With that. What are your views on credit?
Wow.
How do you value credit? Some people, have never been taught it. Financial literacy is something that has lacked in our community since beginning of time in this country. So again, it's getting better and it's doing better. But I challenge people this: if you're going to get to the courting stage, take a financial literacy course together. That's an investment worth making. When you're everything. This is what I consider good spending. Whatever is going to improve you, this like Namaste talk about the self-help and self-reflection and all these different things. If it's going to build your relationship, you're in now stage 3. Like I said, stage 1 is dating / talking. Stage 2 is dating exclusive. Stage 3 is courting. Stage 4 is marriage. So if you're at a place where you're courting and you're really heading down that road, and you're like, okay, if we're going to do this, invest in that. Invest in things that are going to solidify your foundation of your marriage when you birth it when you birth that marriage on day 1, you've already got the foundation laid, and that'll also let you see some different things how your partner reflects. If they're like, oh, I don't want to take a financial literacy course, but we can go to Cancun. No, that's okay. You can go to Cancun by yourself. Bye. I'm out.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? That's where your value is. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, those are just some questions you can ask in that stage. And not easy. One I always love, and I think a lot of people forget about that, especially as you get older. What is the dynamic for the parents? Are they living with us? Are we putting them in a retirement center? How are we going to be able to pay for that? Do we need to take out a policy and start paying for that when we get? What does that look like? And when we have kids, how are we paying for college for our kids? We doing a student loan thing, or are we going to go ahead? It's just it's so many different things out there to ask, but you got to have those conversations. And I think once you get to that stage 3, and then watch how somebody spends their money too. I always say that too. Watch how, when you're dating, especially stage 2, when you're dating, you're going out, watch how somebody's spending their money. Are they just blowing their money all the time? Because just because somebody, you're out with a guy and the guy's spending $200-$300 every time y'all go out, and you're like, oh, he's got it. He may be behind on his rent, his car note, about to be evicted, his car he hiding his car all around the corner and stuff, so the repo man don't get it. You don't know what's going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't know really what he's going, and you'd be like, hey, well, how are you spending your money? Vice versa, if she's spending all the time frivolously, you don't know. Is she about to be evicted, or is she going back to the ex-boyfriend to get money so he can and sleeping with him so she can keep her bills paid? You know what I'm saying? There's so many different things to think about. So watch. These are things to think about and watch. But there's a map coming down the road that's going to talk about that.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much for your question. I mean, it sounds like how everyone stated. It's like a combination of financial literacy as well as emotional intelligence. So thank you all for sharing that. Come to the next comment right here.
Just like in dating, when you really like the person, you can vibe organically with nothing but a beverage and a good conversation versus a $200 dinner date with all those distractions. True.
Very well said. Oh, we're going to have a topic on what we're talking about very soon.
Same in marriage. If you don't share the same core values, you will have to work extra hard to achieve minimal happiness.
Okay. My brother Floyd.
The thing is, what's up, Floyd? The thing is, if we look at many of these online or so-called famous relationships, they are falling apart because they are not built on strong character, strong ethics, or strong values. Also, many of their relationships are not being led by God.
Okay, Floyd. And last comment.
Convo on money. Ask them, are you a spender or a saver? Observe how they live daily.
All right, great comments. Thank you, family, for tuning in. By the way, and I'll ask, I'm sure none of the panelists are not embarrassed, like before you got into a became married or accepted that commitment towards your significant partner. But at that time, you guys weren't afraid to talk about some of these topics about money, about how you spend. I mean, that wasn't embarrassed for no one on the panel at all.
No.
Wow. Okay. A lot of people, some people will be like, that's embarrassing to talk about that. But you're right. These are hard conversations that you got to have. Very well.
Well, I think you have to begin with the end in mind. So because when I was dating, I knew that I was looking for my husband. Like I knew that. So therefore, I need to know, because in my paradigm, at least, if I'm his wife, then I'm agreeing to submit to him. I'm unapologetically a submissive wife. I submit to my husband. And so I need to know how he likes to spend and what his habits are and how he wants things to be done before I sign up to be with him. Because if he's like, well, I want you to submit to me, but I don't want to do anything but play video games all day. That's not going to work, because I know I'm not going to submit to that. So I need to. We need to have conversations, because that's what's going to make it work, and that's that shared values.
That's right. Yeah, no Pookies, no Ray Rays. Okay, listen, we're going to take one last. That's my sisters out there. I do not want you guys to end up with the Pookies and Ray Rays. I want you guys to be in thriving, healthy relationships, such as our sisters right here on this panel. So, listen, we're going to take one last commercial break. When we come back, it will be about that time for our Jerry Springer moment. So sit tight. We'll be right back. This is DBDS Live.
You and I, we talk all the time, and really, man, I just give much love and appreciation to you for founding DBDS and starting it, man, because it's not normal. There's so much banter back and forth, and just like you and I talked about earlier, before we got on, who's going to raise the white flag first?
Hey, that's beautiful. Hi, I'm so excited. This is my first Queen takeover. Usually I'm in with the fellas, but I'm excited today.
So once again, I want to thank this amazing panel and much love to the DBDS family.
Mel, take it
us
away.
Mel.
All right. Welcome back to the DBDS Live Studio. I'm your host, Jamal Lawrence, and I'm here with my DBDS sisters, Mind Shift Coach Janice, my sister, Feminine Coach Namaste, my DBDS brother and partner, Carl, the Accountability Coach. If we've been talking about how modern day materialism is destroying marriages, which, by the way, was a great conversation. And if you enjoyed this episode, listen, you can catch us on the Pure Moment Network. That's right, we're on TV now. So you can always go there, just type in the word DBDS Live, and you'll be able to watch our show. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Radio Public, Anchor, all of these amazing outlets. So that way you can listen to these amazing episodes with our, I won't call them guests, our amazing family members. And when you go to our YouTube channel, which is Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, or DBDS Live, just make sure you hit that subscription button, because that does help out with the channel. And that's just another way showing your love and support, which we greatly appreciate. But now it is time to pivot to our Jerry Springer moment, where we share our final thoughts for today's show. And the first person I'm going to come to is my sister Janice, Mind Shift Coach. What are your final thoughts for our show today?
My final thoughts is to make sure you do the work on yourself first before you even try to be in a relationship, so you can be that cooperative component to building a healthy relationship. I think that is so important because a lot of times we look for who we think we should be in all the wrong places. So I definitely say is disregard social media and get into yourself so you can build healthy relationships in your life.
Love it. Thank you, my sister. Appreciate it. And next, I'm coming to my sister Namaste. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
Yeah, so the most important thing in marriage is your commitment to your beloved and the length and longevity of that relationship. And so money comes and money goes, and hopefully it comes more than it goes, but you guys want to stay connected and clear. So before and above everything is love. Keep the love central to your relationship.
Ooh, love that. Keep the love central. Love it. And next, my brother Carl. What an amazing show. You know what, dear brothers, dear sisters, DBDS, that's what it stands for. But today, it was dope brothers and dope sisters. I mean, we had amazing solutions.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts for today's show?
Yeah, I think both our guests, phenomenal job. Nuggets as usual. Yeah, for me, really, I just say this, understand, yes, we need money to survive. But if you're going to be with that person, think about, would you marry that person if they had nothing?
Mm-hmm.
You take away the materialism. Would you marry that person off no materialism? That's a question to ask. Men thinking about it, women think about that. Would you marry this person if you both had to build together from scratch and you have zero? When you're looking at this person, would that be a person you're willing to build with? So again, it goes back to valuing character, morals, values, the way this person loves you, the way this person communicates with you. Look at those things first. Yes, I pray everybody has the money to get what they want to do, what they need to do. But if that's your focal point, the moment you have a money crisis will be the moment that you burn down your own marriage. You'll literally burn up your own household because you have a money crisis.
Very well said. Love it. And before I give you my final thoughts, just please, pick up my brother's book with him and a list of other collaborators. They have some amazing perspectives in the book. Again, the book is titled "You Say You Love Me, but Do You Respect Me?" And the tag is at the bottom of the screen as to where you can purchase the book. Also a special feature on dearbrothersdearsisters.com. All right. So my final thoughts for today's show is the financial burden that many couples take on in an effort to keep up with the Kardashians, I feel like has the potential to make a marriage crumble. And this is what happens when partners prioritize material possessions and outside validation over their marriage, because they often stop having meaningful conversations and start engaging in these superficial interactions. And when gift is taken from the 5 love language and pushed so far to the extreme that material possession is number one, then your loyalty, your dedication, your respect, and most importantly, your vows will never be good enough. All right. Because remember that materialism within itself is not the problem. Instead, when your marriage is solely based on materialism, then it will become a problem. So once again, I want to thank this amazing panel and much love to the DBDS family.
Take it away, Mel.